Hello, beautiful people. We have a good one for you today, but two quick announcements. The first is that videos are now out on Mondays, as you can see. Unless, of course, this gets flagged for copyright, which is very possible, in which case it's going to come out on a different day. The second thing is, as you will see, I switched the style on this video. And I wanted to give you a heads up on why, because if you have watched this channel for any period of time, you know that I live react to a book and then I live react to a movie. Live reactions are so much fun, but the issue is this part of it, because I just read the book, I already know what's going to happen in the movie. So the new style you're going to see today is to accommodate both the knowledge I already have and the new knowledge I gained from watching the movie. Personally, I think you're going to love it. I had so much fun doing it. But if you don't, if you absolutely hate this, tell me. I'm open to feedback. But with that being said, enjoy. The New Moon movie. We got a roller coaster on our hands today because I should have known they were going to rob us of the campiness of this movie when I saw that they switched directors. Hollywood just couldn't handle the sauce. And honestly, that was a good fucking call because this one made almost double the money. But money isn't everything. Okay, I liked the campiness of the first one. You don't really notice it when you're watching it, but it's essentially a blue light filter with the saturation turned all the way to 0. So this one isn't what I thought I was getting. I mean, look at him. They made him, I'm not going to say normal because Exhibit A, but the vibe shift between these two movies already is like the difference between New York and Florida. You're keenly aware when you're in each one of those. Just right off the bat, this one's actually color graded properly. And that's the trade-off that we make here. Was Twilight a masterpiece of awkwardness and borderline pedophilia? Yeah, maybe a little, but it had spirit and was also arguably not a great movie. It was so awkward sometimes I felt like I was in the room with them, watching them bump uglies. Then we get to the opening scene of this and I'm no longer complaining because I feel like I'm watching Midsummer. It's so good. It had actual tension, good pacing, wonder. Like, who the fuck is this lady? And that's some of the hallmarks of a good movie. There's no campiness, but $700 million? You wouldn't believe what I would do for $700 million. I'd stab her in the fuck.
Happy birthday. The one from me's not wrapped, so it doesn't count.
I love him. I aspire to be him in this really depressing way. I mean, I don't want to be a single divorced cop in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe I want him to adopt me. Maybe that's it. I've seen how he parents, and I know that I could be a better kid to him than Bella is. I wouldn't run away. I wouldn't be in the hospital every other week. I wouldn't date older men. And I know him well enough to know that he'd appreciate that. See, this is what I mean. Where's the 2000s awkward haircuts? The clothes we shouldn't have been wearing. Where's the black kid? There was only one of them. Did you think we wouldn't notice? I hate to admit it, but this is kind of badass. And also not what I signed up for. Where's the bad acting? Where's the bad makeup? He looks almost human if it wasn't for whatever the hell they did to his eyes. He should be pale as the moon. I should be able to use him as a flashlight after midnight.
So how come Jacob Black gets to give you a gift and I don't?
Well, there's one thing they didn't change about him. What is this? I thought about why he's always standing awkwardly in the back, and I think that this is somebody's way of showing that he can't be near the humans. But there's a slight Paquito issue with that. He spends all fucking day with them. So when you do this, it doesn't make it look like he's struggling to bite anybody. It makes it look like he's just fucking weird. He looks constipated. He looks like if he were born in the 60s, people would have called him simple-minded. And even though we have evolved as a society in the past 100 years to not use such phrases and be more empathetic in our wording, he never learned how to act like a fucking human. It really is their eyes. You know, their skin looks so normal now, but they've got really aggressive eyes now. And I love the upgrade because it is an upgrade, but it does stand out too much. You know, we watched 8 movies of people telling Harry Potter that he had his mother's eyes. And really all that means is that they were the same color. You get like 5 to pick from. He had a 20% chance. That's how that happened. Nobody's mentioning this to anybody.
Look at Romeo. I do envy him one thing. Suicide.
It's times like these that make me wonder if it's really shitty foreshadowing because it's so obvious, or if it's so obvious because I've already read the book. Which, speaking of, I'm going to use this time to double down on how much I hate that this turns into a giant miscommunication trope. That trope should have died with Shakespeare in the year 1200 or whenever he went out. However, it is good to know that even when they switch directors, this director is still capable of giving extremely shitty directing notes. Why is he blinking like that? I love him already. Martin Sheen? However, this scene does show too much because this isn't my Aro. This Aro is mean and scary, and I don't want to hang out with him and be his friend. My Aro likes to frolic through fields, and he writes his friends letters, handwritten, to let them know how much he appreciates them. And we see more of that guy later, but I am going to use this time to talk about an unfortunate thing that I did. You see, in my book live reactions, I kept calling him Arlo, and some astute observers pointed out that it doesn't make any sense why I would call him Arlo when I was listening to the book. I think their exact words were, "How the fuck did you mess that up?" And my answer to that is, I don't know. Because I'm with you on this one, right? Aro is the name of an Italian vampire that's 1,000 years old. And Arlo is the name of a fugitive in Kentucky. This one, to be exact. So I don't know how I did that. I got another fun fact for you. The Carlisle actor commented on my last post. Good guy, don't have anything against him, or I didn't. You see, the comment that he left, I'm pretty sure is a spoiler, and I don't know what exactly he's spoiling, but comments underneath it said that it was. And because pettiness runs in my veins, here's a picture of him now. Maybe this is a joke on me because his penis is awfully close to my face, but don't comment spoilers. These aren't my colons. This Emmett, not my Emmett. I can tell just by looking at him, this guy acts normal. He wouldn't do some weird, stupid stretch before, I don't know, playing baseball in a field. But at least they kept the wigs. This is just between me and you here, all right? Nobody else is here. Let's just talk this through. Do you think that there's a better way he could have solved this? I'm not making judgments. I'm not saying anything. I'm asking you a question. I'm trying to engage with you. Just kidding. I am going to judge because he yeets her across the room like a fucking football. But now it's time to talk about everyone's theories on Stephenie Meyer being Mormon and how she's worked that into the story. Because none of that has shown through harder than this soul business with Edward.
And if I am damned regardless?
Damned. Like hell. That's why he won't change me?
Imagine the situation in reverse. Could you take away his soul?
Religion is the only thing that could blind a person this hard from the truth because, of course, she's right. She should be turned. I'm sure somebody out there has some scientific, theoretical name for this, but how this works is if you don't pick, life will pick for you. And Edward's solution here is, I'm just going to wait for you to die. We're going to live a nice, long, happy life together. 20 of those years, you're going to be an invalid because you're going to grow old. And I'm going to look like this the whole time. And we're going to go in public together and hold hands and kiss. And what's wrong with that? Bella, what's wrong with that? I want to have sex with you when you're an old lady. Can't you give me that? You're being so selfish right now. Let me have sex with your old lady body. Can you imagine if my neighbors can hear me right now? Anyways, throughout this video, we're going to have questions for you. And the first one is, when they break up, why is he wearing a suit? You know what? On second thought, I like this a lot because she's wearing a Carhartt jacket and nothing shows the divide between them quite like this. Him in this elevated position of power and her just kind of like having to go along with whatever he decides.
We have to leave Forks.
I don't want you to come.
This guy's a sack of shit, and I'm gonna die on that hill. And although I stand by what I said in this video, that if you get broken up with in the woods and the town has to put together a search party to find you, you fucked up. But, and follow-up question, why was it necessary to break up in the woods? I will say though, I need more emotion here. I need more panic. This isn't giving me curl up in the woods and die vibes. It's not really even giving me I need to take a nap vibes. God, I'm not trying to tear into this movie. I think I'm still a little bit peeved about the campiness. I miss it. I miss it. It does have its own version of it, I guess. You know, like this guy, he's a wolf. We don't know that as an audience, but we're pretty sure. But he comes out of the woods with no shirt on and nobody questions it. He hands him to Charlie, who's got no idea what's going on. He doesn't know vampires exist. Sure as shit doesn't know werewolves exist. And a shirtless man in cutoff shorts hands him his daughter and he's just like, all right. I'd have questions. Maybe not in that moment. Maybe I'm really worried about my daughter who just got returned to me, but I'd have questions. Not to mention all the townspeople just standing in the back who maybe they're thinking it, but nobody's like, maybe that's the guy that put her out there. That's what I'd be thinking. We have a positive though, because in both the book and the movie, I loved the passing of time that goes along with the depression. That shit sucks. And in a rare occasion, I feel like the movie did it better than the book. In the book, I think it's literally just like October, November, December, like they're just listed. But this circling chair scene, I think really shows the isolation and what depression is like, how you just live in your head as time passes. Now, kids at home, if this is the first time watching this channel, or maybe you've never read the book, there's a phrase that you're going to hear a lot from me, which is, this never happened. And I say it because writers in Hollywood have this thing where they tend to think that every thought that comes through their mind is good. But I would argue that that isn't true, because Bella, the shy, socially awkward 17-year-old daughter of a cop, most likely wouldn't get on the back of a 40-year-old's motorcycle. Maybe I'm wrong. It's a possibility. It just isn't likely. Now, is it being used as a story vehicle because after this scene, she's going to show up at Jacob's with some motorcycles that she wants refurbished? Yeah, but I do feel it necessary to call out that sometimes writers in Hollywood do stupid things. Question 3, 4, I lost track.
Where the hell have you been, Loca?
What's a Loca? Here's the next thing, though. I don't think that that's Quill and Embry. If they're Quill and Embry, who the fuck were these guys? You know what I'm saying? It's like, he's allowed to have other friends. That's not what I mean. I'm pretty sure that's who that's supposed to be. And no offense to the new youngins, but this is a downgrade. What are you doing to my fucking guy? He just wants to be a good dad. He was fine being alone, and he wanted to be around his daughter, and what he got instead is just panic and death.
When your mother left, thought about doing all kinds of crazy things just to ease the pain. Of course, what do I know? I'm just a terminal bachelor.
Charlie, don't talk about yourself that way. We use positive affirmations in this house, things that uplift our spirit. I would be such a better kid to him. We get back-to-back scenes, though, that kind of put me on edge, because right after that one, we get a scene where Jake is in the truck and kind of knows what's up. He knows he's being used. You can hear it in his voice, and this breaks my heart. Even though this movie does a really bad job of really getting the essence of him across, which is the essence of a guy who's fun, loving, and just wants to help, this scene does capture the hurt that happens because he is being used. I'll tell you this, though. Bella is awfully lucky that she hit her head, because if I looked like Jacob does in this scene, it wouldn't take somebody bleeding for me to take my shirt off. Still no black guy. I just don't understand. Is the writing that the black guy went to a different school? Because where is he? Mike does ask her out at this lunch, though, and if you look closely, you can see the happiest moment of his young virgin life.
I was just wondering if you wanted to go see a movie with me.
And if you wait about 30 seconds, you can see his world crumble beneath him.
We should get a bunch of people to go. Do you guys want to go see Face Bunch?
Young men are so stupid. I do remember in the book, though, thinking that this was the scene where I really started to love Jacob. He's got that jealousy thing, and he dresses a little weird, but his desire to assert dominance over Bella's other suitors, it just makes me laugh. And ultimately, that brings up question 5, 6, or 7, depending on who's counting. This one's for the writers, though. What the fuck is this?
Feeling sick? Maybe you need to go to the hospital. You want me to put you in the hospital?
This didn't happen. Is he a jackass this entire scene? Yeah, absolutely. But he doesn't try to fight Mike. What it did do, though, for story purposes, because, you know, Hollywood, is trigger wolfism. He's got whittle nipples. 1, how do you even grow that many abs? 2, why'd they take his hair away? 3, why are they all wearing these shorts? It hides the best part of their legs and makes their calves look underdeveloped. 4, why does he have a tattoo? He's not supposed to have a tattoo. And 5, and this is probably the biggest difference, and I'm sure this was a thing back in the day. I know that Taylor Lautner struggled with some mental health issues, so we're going to mention this once and never again. He's supposed to be 6'5". All right, actually, I'm not done with this. If there's anything in this video that's going to get me canceled, it's going to be this right here. But I'm coming to you as a man of the people. I don't have the world's best body. I haven't worked out in God knows how long. So I'm going to body shame, but I'm going to do it as part of the crowd. Why is he jacked as fuck and these other guys are prepubescent boys? This doesn't apply to you. I'm not trying to put some unrealistic standards out there because I know what he did to get this body. But where is the logic in Jacob having 18 abs and 2 hams for shoulders, when this guy looks like he got the part last night when he was eating Hostess cupcakes for dinner? I thought, and I could be wrong about this, that the wolf gene is what kind of sparked the growth spurt in Jacob. And if that's the case, wouldn't it also apply to everybody else? Shouldn't there be some level of uniformity here other than this tattoo that shouldn't even exist? I'm not trying to body shame. It's just as an observer, it went through my mind. There's a stark contrast between these two bodies. I would let it all go if they would have just changed this fucking outfit. I really don't understand the logic in it. If the clothes are going to get destroyed, why isn't it a full pair of pants? Okay, maybe we don't need the shirts because you don't want to destroy 2 pieces of clothing at once. I get that. I don't get why the cutoffs are necessary. I know I'm hung up on this. If you haven't picked up on it, I fucking hate this outfit. I will say, the wolf scene right here. Look at it. This wolf scene did a lot for me. Sexually. I'm going to Google some things after this that I never thought that I would, and maybe find myself at a convention that involves costumes.
You can't kill vampires.
We took out that leech with the dreads easy enough.
That felt racist. No? Did you feel that? It's time to pat the writers on the back, though, because they did something that actually enhanced the story that did not happen in the book. Because, yeah, Harry Clearwater did have a heart attack, but to our knowledge, it wasn't because of this. This means canonically that he ran into Victoria. That didn't happen, but what a good story piece to tie things together. I like it. I'm a fan. We're going to dip right back down, though, into things that I hate, because what was the game plan here? How did she plan to get back to shore? That out there, that's the open fucking ocean. This thing behind her, that's a rock wall, maybe 50 feet high. Do you guys see the beach? A place where she would get out of the water at all? Bella does survive, though, and she makes it back to her place. And as we know, Alice had a vision about it. And I love her. You guys know I love her. Maybe my favorite Cullen. Probably. Most likely. But she is also potentially involved in every plot hole in this story. How would she have seen the vision that Bella had jumped from the cliff, but she didn't see a vision that Bella survived?
I can't see past you and your pack of mutts.
Don't.
And then there's this thing, which is not movie really related. It's just story related, because I don't like and have never liked how Jacob is treated in this story. From the writer's perspective, Alice comes back, which means in Bella's head, the vampires are coming back, and suddenly he's just like this throwaway thing.
Anything else?
That's it.
Well, if that's all, then you better go run back to Sam.
Hey, Bella, he's the reason you're alive. Literally, in the 6 months you were depressed, he was the guy that was there. He was the guy that was there when you cut your head, when you tried to off yourself on this cliff. This time with Laurent, even though you didn't know it was him. But Big Doggo, that was him. Don't yell at my baby boy, okay? He did not deserve that. I like that they almost kiss here. They would have if shithead Edward wasn't calling right now. But my question is this. Are we supposed to know what that means? I don't speak Quileute, and something tells me if I turned on the subtitles, it wouldn't tell me. The phone call and the crushed phone, though, this is where it starts to lose me for a little bit, because it gets better at the end. We get to see the Volturi. But for this little bit is the beginning of the miscommunication trope. Edward calls the house. Jacob answers. He says Charlie's at a funeral. Edward assumes that funeral is for Bella. Edward crushes the phone, thinks Bella is dead, and is now going to go try and kill himself. This is a different disclaimer than my "this never happened." This did happen, but the disclaimer is this should never have happened. But it leads us to Italy, and I love the imagery of this movie. I love the color grading of this movie. Coming off the last one, it's shocking to see this done appropriately. The reds are a little red, but you know what I mean. It was a decision. And like all movies, they have a bunch of decisions. One of those decisions was, why does he look like this? This was Edward in the beginning of the movie. He looks super polished, nice, buttoned up. Skin's got a good shade to it. No bags under his eyes because they don't sleep and they don't have to sleep. And then we have this Edward who looks like he's been doing heroin. Can vampires even do heroin? I don't know. But he's got meth teeth and eye bags of 2 all-nighters. She saves him, though, which is real nice, and they do a little like kissy scene. And it's not the kissing that gave me any questions. It was how they decided to edit it after. Why do they keep doing this fade-out scene that like shows a bunch of time passing? How long do you think they were standing in this hallway just going at it? A bigger jump scare to me, though, was either Dakota Johnson or Fanning. I don't know what's the difference between the two. I feel like they're the same person. Are they different people? Here's my issue. I can't picture a second one in my head. I only have this one. And so I think she's both. But did she die? I'm asking that because like in the early 2000s, she was the darling of Hollywood. She was in movies with like Tom Cruise and Denzel Washington. And I'm assuming that stuff led her into this. And I now haven't seen a movie with her in the past decade, which leads me to the question that I previously asked you. Did she die?
What a happy surprise. Bella is alive after all. Isn't that wonderful?
This is my Aro. Look at him. Look at my sweet prince. He's giggling and having a good time. This guy wants people to survive. He wants to be their friend. He wants to invite them in. This guy is going to send them a note about how nice it was to see them after they leave. God, I want to be his friend. I want to be in there so bad. I don't fucking like these two. Their faces and their speech put me on edge. I like her. I like him. I'm indifferent on this one, but I wish he had a different haircut. And then this guy feels too old to be a peon. So I wish he wasn't around. But really, it's these two that give me the heebie-jeebies. I also didn't speak enough about Martin Sheen. What a versatile actor. In Good Omens, he is just the best. He's the best. But anyways, obviously, everybody saves everybody. There's promises that Edward's going to turn Bella, even though he's a lying sack of shit. And they make it back to Charlie. And Charlie points out that Bella disappeared on him for 3 days without so much as a phone call. And he says this.
Dad, you don't have to worry.
Bella, do not ever do that to me again. Ever.
And my issue here is this feels like foreshadowing. It feels like she is going to do that to him again. And I don't understand why Charlie has to be the doormat of this story. He is genuinely the best guy, arguably the top two because Carlisle with his morals, a good guy, but he doesn't deserve this. Do you hear me, Stephanie Meyer? 15 years after you wrote it, he doesn't deserve this. I know I've harped a lot on this movie, and most of it's for fun. It's just not as lighthearted as Twilight, but this thing I'm serious about. This acting from him doesn't do it for me. Taylor Lautner is this guy. He's the guy that smiles. He's the guy that has fun and jokes around. Everybody here watching this knows an actual tough guy, whether they're good people or not. They're probably not, but you know what it's like to stand like within that vicinity of somebody who's actually dangerous. No. Too much like neck movement. I just don't believe that he believes it. Does that make sense? I miss Jackass Jacob. I miss Jacob that was like a little bit of a bully to Mike, but was doing it in a fun, lighthearted way. This Jacob makes me sad. Boo. Boo. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I have one condition.
What's the condition?
Marry me, Bella.
Do you remember that talk we had about Mormonism? This tops that. Yeah. I don't have anything else to add to that. I feel like you understand. All right. It's done. And I'll say off the bat, this movie is undeniably a better movie than Twilight. It's not more fun. It's really not like more fun to watch. But if you're talking about the composure of it, the directing of it, the special effects, I mean, look at this fight scene. The Twilight could never. So they're heading in the right direction, but I don't like that it's not as fun. The pacing is a little weird. The shift from Jacob going to like the friendly person to being really cold, it feels abrupt. But ultimately, from a storytelling perspective, it is a better movie. What did I give Twilight? I feel like I gave Twilight like a 7. Because it loses fun points, but it gains in other areas, I'm going with like a 7.2. I've got the same complaint with the movie that I did with the book, obviously, which is that I want so much more time with the family. I feel like we've kind of been robbed of that. Hoping that we get that in the next one, which is Eclipse. Live reactions will be up for that in 2 weeks. But thank you for being here. I know that this was different. Again, if you hate this style, tell me. Like I said earlier, this feels more authentic to me because I've already live reacted to the story, but I do plan on doing other movies that I haven't seen before that we can all experience together for the first time and it be a true live reaction. So if you want to see that, please feel free to subscribe and like the video. It helps with the algorithm, and I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Oh, and also, my debut fantasy novel is out. Bye.